Fear of offending. You would go against fear of offending somebody and being disobedient to God. Let's measure these two, people. Let's measure it out and see which one is going to get you in more trouble. You may offend them, but you have done what God said to do, and God's going to take care of that. If they get that offended, that means God's really working on them, because something's burning in them. Something's burning in them. If you look in your worksheets there, the last page, there's a testimony worksheet. And so for your homework that you need to look at, it gives you some guidelines on how you write your testimony. And the reason why it's important for you to write your testimony is, how are you going to tell somebody about Jesus if you don't even know your own story? And so what your homework is to use in the worksheet the scriptures about Paul and how Paul was before he knew Christ, how he came to Christ, and then how he was after Christ. If you read those scriptures and use those to write your own testimony, to be turned in, I want you to make 2 copies. No one else will read them, and I'll give them back. I want to make sure you did your homework. That's what you need to do, because again, if you're going to share the gospel with somebody else, you got to know your own story. So what I want you to do is use those scriptures and think about how you were before you knew Christ, how you came to Christ, and then how you are now after you know Christ. You may still need some work, but that's not the point. The point is to write down what you are like as far as sharing the gospel. As far as how you came to Christ. And that's going to help you to share the gospel. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more related to evangelizing and sharing Jesus without fear. Again, we're going to call it witnessing without fear occasionally, because again, it is a battle out there. You're going to run across some people, but you're not here to defend the Bible. I want you to know that. That's one thing. If you don't get nothing else, you're not here to defend the Bible. If somebody really scholarly, you come out and you're sharing the gospel, I said, brother, you studied. I said, you have some things. I said, but you believe what you believe, and we can pray about it and we can move on. You don't have to debate the Bible with anybody, And you got to run across some people, and that's why I keep harping on this lack of knowledge. You're going to run across some people that know a lot, but if they know that much, then you don't need to speak with them. I said, you want to pray? You ask them to pray. They'll pray with you. You can move on. You can move on. You don't have to debate anything. I talk fast sometimes. If there's something you have a question about, please let me know. I'll be happy to talk about it. We'll go over stuff, and I'll point out some things that you need to know. Again, we have a lot more that we're going to be going through. Some of the slides that you have in there, the open slots, we're going to go over those. But for those that are watching online, for those that are here tonight, I hope and pray that something was said that maybe got you to think about what you're doing as far as sharing Jesus without fear. I hope there's something that you can take away from this particular class that will bring you back to the next class. I understand that we're all busy, but again, this is one of the mandates that Christ wants us to go do. He didn't debate it. He didn't suggest you do it sometimes when you feel good. He said be instant in season and out of season. So for those of you that are watching, thank you for this evening, and thank you for sharing with us, and share Jesus without fear. Let's get ready to rumble!